Welcome to SVR IAS Online Academy. ComeOnIndia.com is our website. Under Target IAS 2016 batch, we are providing online prelims, mains and current affairs video lectures. In today's sample current affairs video lectures, you will see about science and technology developments in the January 2nd week. In the January 2nd week, the important current affairs topics related to science and technology. First, we are going to see about change for probe. Change for probe and its importance for the prelims and mains examination. Change for probe is the new lunar probe mission. It is a probe mission to the moon, and it is going to be sent by the China to probe the dark side of the moon. To probe the dark side of the moon, which is not explored by the humans so far. Because of the gravitational speed rotation, always one side of the moon faces the earth. Another side of the moon is called as dark side. So prepare well why always one side of the moon faces earth. The change for probe will be launched in 2018 by China. In 2018, launch of the change for probe will create a new landmark in the space exploration, especially in the moon exploration. The far side of the moon is never visible to Earth because of the gravitational forces that already we discussed. So the dark side of the moon has never explored. So the first probe that is going to explore the dark side of the moon will be change for mission. It's going to be launched by China. Do you think China is lacking behind other countries in space exploration? Definitely the NASA is the world leader in space exploration. But China also developed more advanced space exploration program. But in 2015, the country seems lacking behind. India launched Mangalyaan successfully, and India became the first Asian country to orbit the red planet. And also in its first attempt, India became the #1 country in the world to launch a mission successfully to the Mars. And also in 2015, NASA discovered existence of the water on the red planet. Red planet is also other name for Mars. US has sent more than 20 spacecraft to the Mars since 1964, and recently the recent one is Curiosity, which is still roving the Mars and sending back information. China also has more advanced space program that already you know about. Mangalyaan achievement and discovery of the water in Mars by NASA are the important developments in 2015. Now let's briefly discuss about China's lunar exploration program. China's lunar exploration program. Lunar means moon. China has 3-step moon exploration program. The 3 steps are: first is orbiting stage, second is landing step, third is return step. By completing change 1, 2 and 3, China already completed 2 stages. Orbiting stage is also completed, landing stage also completed. In 2013, China launched change 3 probe, and it made a soft landing in the moon's surface, and it marked the completion of the landing step of the China's 3-step moon exploration program. China also plans to launch the change 5 probe. Once it's completed, it will mark the completion of China's 3-step moon exploration program. It means change 5 probe, after landing in the moon surface, explore the conditions and take the samples from the moon and will return to the earth safely. Now let's discuss about China's own space station. At the end of the 2022, China plans to set up its own space station, which will be rival to the Russian space station called as Mir. The important prelims point is Mir, which is the Russia's space station. The another prelims point is that Mir is jointly operated by Russia and US. Mir space station developed by Russia but jointly operated by Russia and USA. In this background, prepare well on International Space Station. In our paid video lecture service, we already provided a short video lecture on International Space Station and also a PDF for that. In our paid service, in our another video lecture, we will cover about India's or ISRO's achievement in the space exploration and comparing India's achievement with USA, China and Russia, which is important for the mains examination. Now let's discuss about another very important topic for the 2016 prelims as well as mains examination is Ebola virus. World Health Organization few days back declared West Africa as a free from Ebola epidemic. After 2 or 3 days, once again Ebola resurfaced. In the last 2 years, since the emergence of Ebola in West Africa in 2013, Ebola virus killed more than 11,000 people in West Africa itself. So in this background, we will discuss what is Ebola virus. Ebola viral disease is also called as Ebola hemorrhagic fever because it produces fever and hemorrhage. Hemorrhage means bleeding. The Ebola virus disease is very severe. If 100 people are affected, 90 people dies. So fatality rate is 90%. The virus, that is Ebola virus, is transmitted to people from the wild animals and after that it spreads from human to humans. This is the image which shows the Ebola virus in the magnified view. Ebola virus can cause disease in the humans as well as non-human primates, especially monkeys, gorillas and chimpanzees. At present, Ebola virus is mainly found in the African continent. Ebola virus for the first time discovered in 1976 near the Ebola River. Now it is located in the Democratic Republic of Congo or simply DRC. Once enters the body, Ebola virus spreads throughout the body and damages our immune system and our vital organs. Then it causes bleeding. The bleeding is the unsevere, uncontrollable bleeding. Because of that, fatality rate is very high, up to 90%. But one good news with the Ebola virus is that it is not so contagious as like a cold, influenza virus and measles virus. Influenza or swine flu virus, cold virus, measles virus are very contagious, but Ebola virus is not so contagious. Contagious means spreading nature, whether it spreads faster or slower. Ebola virus spreads to the people with the contact with the skin or the body fluids of the infected animals. Animals mainly whether monkey or chimp or fruit bat. After that, it spreads from one person to another person through contact with the infected body fluid. Don't get confused because Ebola virus is not spreading via respiratory route, not spreading in the air and other forms. It spreads from the contact with the infected body fluids. Ebola virus has 5 different strains. If you remember our dengue video lecture, we discussed dengue has 4 strains. Here Ebola virus has 5 strains. Out of 5, 4 are infectious to the human beings and 5th strain is not infecting the human being. If you read the newspaper regularly, you can see Ebola virus mainly spreading in the Western Africa, not even in the Southern Africa, Eastern Africa or Northern Africa. Why particularly this region is affected more? Because of the Ebola virus. The region suffers from extreme poverty, dysfunctional healthcare system, and mistrust of the government officials, especially after years of armed conflict. The region was under control of the army for a couple of years or decades. Because of that, mistrust emerged among the people about the government officials, and delay in responding to the outbreak for several months, which are contributed to the failure to control epidemic. In our paid video lecture service, we will cover about the difference between epidemic, pandemic and endemic, which is important for the prelims examination. The another reason is that local burial customs. After death from the Ebola virus, their body is washed and buried locally, especially in the densely populated cities, which is one of the reason for spread of the Ebola virus, because Ebola virus spreads when people get contact with the infected body fluids. Now, the another very important point for the prelims 2016 is that how to define zero Ebola cases. If you read the newspaper regularly, the 42 days coming in the news regularly regarding Ebola virus. 42 days. What is that? Outbreak of the Ebola virus disease considered to be ended in any one of the countries. In any of the countries after 42 days have passed since the last confirmed case has tested negative twice for the virus on the blood sample. For example, take the country Liberia as an example. In the Liberia, the last person to get infected with the Ebola virus named as X. And now today test the blood sample of the X. The blood sample is negative for Ebola virus. And 42 days have passed since today, and after 42 days, blood sample has to be tested once again. If the Ebola virus once again is negative in the blood sample, means in the last person who is infected, then we can declare that particular country Liberia as a Ebola free nation. What is 42 days? The Ebola's maximum incubation period is 21 days. So we have to wait for 2 incubation periods for a particular virus, Ebola virus. If the test is negative for 2 incubation period, then we can say, okay, no problem. Now the country is declared as a Ebola free nation after 42 days. After that, every country should maintain a system of heightened surveillance. Country should increase its surveillance for Ebola for further 90 days. And should ensure that surveillance and notification thereafter. So first 42 days since the last confirmed case. After 42 days, the further 90 days for the surveillance. Why the topic Ebola virus came in the news recently? Recently, Sierra Leone tested positive for Ebola virus once again. So days after World Health Organization declared West Africa as a free from Ebola epidemic. After a couple of days, Ebola virus once again resurfaced in the Sierra Leone. Already, Ebola virus killed more than 4,000 people in Sierra Leone itself. If you take West Africa as a whole, Ebola virus has killed more than 11,000 people since it emerged at the end of 2013. In this video lecture, we covered 2 topics so far. The other topics are Juno mission, and after that sperm boats technology, and the last topic will be ballistic research center and testing range. Ballistic research center and testing range. The 3 topics will be available in our website commonandthea.com. Only the paid members will have get access to our full version of the online video lectures for current affairs. In Juno mission, we discussed what is the Juno mission, what is the important objective, what is the recent achievement of the Juno mission, what is the distinct feature of the Juno mission, especially with respect to the outer solar missions compared to other solar missions. In sperm bots technology, we discussed how it could provide a solution to the infertility, especially male infertility, and comparing the artificial insemination with the in vitro fertilization and how sperm bot technology is superior compared to the current techniques and so on. So to get a full video lecture, visit our website commandindia.com, and for more details, contact us via WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number is 809 809 9922. Thank you.